Good day, everybody. I hope you're fine. So today we're doing this paper that was written, I think, last week, Friday. Yeah. So it's Gauteng paper, maths paper 1, grade 11. Now let's start. Hey, this electricity thing. So now check. This is question 1. It's saying solve for x in each of the following. So now 1.1, they are saying solve for x squared minus 6x plus 8. So let's go. Question 1 now. 1.1.1. Now I have what? X squared minus 6x plus 8. It is equals to 0. So Lana, you can simply do what? Factorize, right? But you can do your quadratic at the same time. But I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna factorize. And check. As you can see, they have already put this thing in the form of what? Y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, because that is the very crucial thing in maths. Once they put it in that way, you know that now you're sorted. Because check, they can put x squared and put maybe 8 here so that they wanna trick you, but now everything is fine. So I can factorize this thing, and then you on your own can use what? Quadratic. So I'll have x minus 4 here, because I'm gonna use 8, and then what? X minus 2 is equals to 0. You can use your quadratic formula method, you'll get the same answer. And then I know that my x is equals to 4 or x is equals to 2, right? Then I'm done. 1.1.2. What is it saying? It is what? 3x squared minus 11. It is equals to what? Minus 5x. And then they are saying leave your answer in 2 decimal place. So now we are forced to use the quadratic formula, because it is what? Decimals. No, so now it is what? 3x squared minus 11. It is equals to minus 5x. So now check. Remember what I said. Please, guys, it is very important. You see now they already messed it up. It is not in order. Follow this order. This equation must be in that order. So now it will be 3x squared. Now I can't put my 11 in the middle. I will say what? Plus 5x. You see? And then minus 11, because this 11, it is what? The value of c. You see? And then it is equals to 0. Then now I'm gonna put my quadratic. X is equals to minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You see? And then now we are gonna substitute. This one is used. You're gonna do this thing and find the answers on your own. Minus 5 plus minus, what is my b there? 5 squared minus 4. What is my a? 3. C minus 11 over 2. Then my a is 3. Then you're gonna find your x values. See? These are your x values that you're gonna find on your own. You're just gonna punch it in a calculator and get your 4 marks. Now let's go to the next question. What does it say now? X squared plus 3x minus 4 less than. This is very important. Less than. So this thing is telling you something. It's an equality. Ne? So now let's continue. They are saying less than. So now it's gonna be like this. 1.1.3. What do you have? X squared plus 3x minus 4 less than 0. Is it fine now? So now check. Since now my equation, it is still fine and in the form of that ax squared minus bx, ax squared plus bx plus c, I don't have to fix anything. It is fine. So now I'm simply gonna factorize. At the same time, you can do your quadratic formula method. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm gonna factorize. What will I have? X plus 4 x minus 1 less than 0. And then now what I'm gonna do is that, since now I know that my answer is minus 4 and positive 1, I'm simply gonna say critical values. It is what? x is equals to -4 or x is equals to 1. Now check, it is what? 3 marks. So now you already have a mark here and a mark here. So now let's now represent them in the inequality form. Since now it is less than 0, it basically means you are gonna do what? Combine. Remember what I said in that video for inequalities. When it is less than 0, do what? You combine the critical values. You start with the smallest number and then the biggest number. So it will be -4 less than x less than 1. See, you are done. Just like that. This thing has a mark. Sometimes it is 5 marks, 2 marks for this, 1 mark for this, and then one mark for this. Or maybe the fifth mark can be that one for putting it in this form. You see, it is now coming back again. Now let's go to the next question. So now 1.1.4, it is saying what? Root 2x plus 3 and then minus x outside the square root is equals to 0. So now for this one, it is what? 5 marks. So I have root 2x plus 3 minus x is equals to 0. So remember, for me to solve this kind of questions, you have to do what? Square to remove the square root and then solve for x. So now let me fix this thing in order. I can't simply start by squaring while least my x it is still in this side. So I'll have to take x to the other side. I'll have 2x plus 3 it is equals to x, right? And then I'll do what? Square both sides. Remember what I said, square root it is the same as what? Half. Like there is 1 here, there is 2 here. Then the numerator is the number inside, denominator is the number outside. So Lana, mathematically it is the same as having 1 here and a 2 here. So this 2 will cancel this 2, you see? And then what am I gonna be left with? 2x plus 3 it is equals to x squared, you see? Now solve for your maths. Let me take everything to the other side. Since my a it is what? Positive. I'll have x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 3 at the same time is equals to 0. And then I'm gonna factorize again at the same time. You can also do that your quadratic. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I'm gonna factorize because these are easy equations. X minus 3 x plus 1. And then now I'm gonna say what? X it is equals to 3 or x is equals to -1. So now before you continue, we are not done. They said 5 marks, but now if you are here, you scored 4 marks only. So now let me tell you what to do. Take your calculator, say square root, I hope you can see, and then say 2. Where there is x, you put what? 3. Take 3 you got. It says 3 and then plus what? 3. What are you getting? 3, you see? So 3 it is equals to 3. This root of 2x plus 3 gives me 3. So my 3 it is valid. Let me check -1. It is giving me +1. So it is invalid. So it means what? Now we are not gonna represent it. We're gonna say x it is equals to 3 only. And then we can say x it is not equals to -1. This one has a mark. It is the 5th mark. 1, maybe 2 here, 3, 4. And then maybe you can say 5 here. You see, you're done. Each and every time when you're doing that, you will have to make sure that you confirm the valid values. So now let's check this one now. It is saying 2 to the power of x minus 3 over 2 to the power of x minus 2 is equals to 1. 6 marks. Yeah. Okay. So this one is saying what? 2 to the power of x minus 3 over 2 to the power of x minus 2 is equals to 1. Right? So now let's continue. As you can see here, 2 it is already simplified. I cannot maybe say apply my exponents. No. The only way is to do chi-square or k-square. I don't know. Yeah, it's k-square, chi-square. So now I'm simply gonna say let 2 to the power of x is equals to k. So where there is 2 to the power of x, I put what? K. So 2 to the power of x minus 3 over k to the power of minus 2. One. Let's continue. And then is equals to 1. Now let me simplify. I need to know your exponents. If you don't, go back. There's a video of exponents there. So when I'm going to simplify this whole thing, this one is going to be 2 to the power of x minus what? 12 over k. Ne? Is equals to 1. Wait, guys, I said where there is 2 to the power of x, you put k. Okay, so I have k minus 12 over k is equals to 1. So now, since I have a denominator of k, I'm going to do what? To remove this fraction, multiply everything by the denominator. So now I'll have what? K squared minus 12 is equals to k. Then in the form of that one, what? The one that I showed you. K squared minus k plus minus k minus 12 is equals to 0. K squared minus k minus 12 is equals to 0. You see? Now, guys, if you didn't understand how I got this, write in the comments, because there's a lot that I have to explain here. But it's nothing much. It's just exponents. So factorization, k minus 4, k plus 3 is equals to 0. Then I know that my k it is equals to 4, or k it is equals to negative 3. But what? I said what? Let 2 to the power of x is equals to k. So but 2 to the power of x is equals to k. So now let me find my x values. So this side I'll say what? 2 to the power of x is equals to k. 2 to the power of x is equals to 4. And then you know that 2 to the power of x, it is going to be equals to 2 to the power of 2. Same basis, they eliminate my x is equals to 2 this side, you see. And then now for the other one, already I can see that it is a minus, and at the same time it is a minus 3. So I'll say 2 to the power of x is equals to minus 3. Then I say no solution. Because 3 at the same time, it is not corresponding with 2. And this one has a mark. Always write it. Don't say, hi, I can see that this one won't give me the answer, and then you leave it like that. It has a mark. It has a mark. It does. Now let's continue to the next one. What is it saying? 1.1.6. 1 over 3 to the power of x greater than 3 to the power of minus 4. Okay. 1 over 3 to the power of x greater than 3 to the power of minus 4. So now what I can see here, it is that 1 over 3 can be changed to in this form. Now, you know it will be 3 to the power of what? Minus 1. But times what? X. So I will have what? 3 to the power of minus x greater than 3 to the power of minus 4. Then when you are here, you know that same basis, they are going to be eliminated. My minus x, it is greater than what? Minus 4. But remember what I said. You cannot say your answer is negative x. You have to divide by a negative 1. Then my x, it is now 4. But remember what I said about inequality sign. When you divide by a negative on the across the inequality sign, the sign will change. Now it will be less than. Negative x was greater than negative 4, but after dividing by a negative 1 to make everything to be positive, when you divide by a negative value, the inequality sign changes. You see? Then that's my answer. Let's go to 1.2. So now 1.2 is interesting. It is saying solve for x and y in the following. Number 1, it is 2 to the power of x plus y times 3 to the power of x is equal to 48. So now you have what? 2 to the power of x plus y times 3 to the power of x is equal to 48. Now as you can see, I can't change 2 I can't change 3. Let's change 48. Remember how I showed you 48 is equals to, and then this, let me do it, gosh. So 2 to the power 4 times 3. So now I'll have what? 2 to the power of x plus y times 3 to the power of x is equals to 2 to the power of 4 times 3. It is the same as 3 to the power of 1. So now as I can see here, I'll have to do things differently because they said solve for what? X and y. Now let's start with this one for 2. I can do this and separate them. Let me separate them, can I? So 2 to the power of x plus y, né? It is equals to 2 to the power of 4. And then I know that my x plus y, it is equals to 4. Now, let's go to that side. I'll have what? 3 to the power of x, it is equals to 3 to the power of 1. But when I have same basis, I know that my x will be equals to 1. Then what I do, this paper is busy moving. I don't know why. They're just jealous that I got the answer. Where there is x, I put what? 1. So I'll have what? X plus y is equals to 4. So there will be 1 plus y is equals to 4. Therefore, my y, it is equals to what? 3. You see how simple it is. My x was 1, and then my y, it is what? 3. That one was just something tricky, but at least we managed to get the answer, because these questions sometimes they come in a way such that they can confuse us, but we managed to tackle it. Now let's go to the next question. It is now simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation. Alright, okay. It is y is equals to 4 over x minus 2 plus 3 and y plus x is equals to 1. 1.2.2. Y is equals to, hey guys, don't give up. Don't give up. In maths, don't give up. 4 over x minus 2 plus 3 and y plus x is equals to 1. So now as you can see, already I have what? Y. It is already the subject. So I'm going to do this thing in 2 ways. Because I can make x or y the subject here. So now let's start with this one. Since they have told me that my y it is equals to that, I can now kill it in 2 ways. Is it fine now? So now let's continue. Where there is y, I'm going to put what? 4 over x minus 2 plus 3. Let's try that one out and check if it's going to work. So let's check. 4 over x minus 2 plus 3 plus x is equals to 1. Okay? No, this one is going to confuse you guys, because I'm still going to multiply everything by the denominator. So it's going to be a long step. So now let's cut the long story short and now do the simple method. So now let me make what? X or y the subject here. So now let me just make y the subject. I will have what? Let's forget about this one. Y it is equal to 1 minus x. See? Now let's continue. I'm going to take this one now. So where is why I put what? 1 minus x is equals to 4 over x minus 2. See? Now let's continue. Let's cross multiply. This times this times that. This is the same as over 1. So I'll have my 4. It is equals to 1 minus x times x minus 2. Then it will be 4. It is equals to 1 minus. So minus x times x, it is x squared. Minus and a minus, it is positive 2x. You see? Now this one is simple, right? So we can continue and do the maths. Now, wait. I said I'm gonna cross multiply, and what I did here was wrong. I was supposed to put brackets here. So it will be what? 4 it is equals to 1 times x, 1 times minus 2, negative x times positive x minus x squared plus 2x. Because I already saw that it was already a disaster there. So let's continue. I was supposed to cross multiply. Hi guys, I made a mistake already. I made a mistake. Let's start all over. So I said I'm gonna consider this one, right? So it will be what? Y is equals to 1 minus x. And then where this y, I'm gonna put what? 1 minus x, right? So I'm gonna come here now. It's gonna be what? 4. I need to, it is this equation. So 1 minus x, it is equals to 4 over x minus 2 plus 3. Now they are equal because y it is now equals to y. Now let's continue. Now I'm gonna remove everything by multiplying everything by with the denominator. Is it fine now? Sorry about that, mistakes happen. So now I can, since there is this thing, I can treat it as a parabola. Take this 3 to the other side, it will be what? 1 minus 3 minus 2 minus x is equals to 4 over x minus 2. And then I can multiply everything by what? The denominator. So it will, this side it will be the same as minus 2 minus x times x minus 2. It is equals to what? 4. Because this one will cancel it, that one. Right? Now, let me multiply here. I'll have minus 2x plus 4 minus x squared plus 2x. It is equals to 4. Now, I'm going to take everything. Let me check here. Minus 2x plus 2x, it is 0. Let me take, when I take this 4 to the other side, it will be 4 minus 4. So, my x, basically, my x squared will be equals to 0. You see? It is just the very same thing. It is the very same thing. So, my x squared will be equals to 0, which means when I'm going to do my maths, my x will be equals to 0. And then now for y, since I said y is equals to 1 minus x, it will be y is equals to 1 minus x, y is equals to 1 minus 0, it is equals to 1. So my y is equals to 1, x is equals to 0. See, I hope you understood it now. Let's go to 1.3. What does 1.3 say? It says, given f of x is equals to root of x squared plus 4x plus 8. 1.31, determine the minimum value of f of x. Guys, these are functions now. They are already in the functions, okay? So remember, this is a quadratic equation, which is the very same thing as a parabola. So when they are saying the minimum value, it is just this thing where the graph turns. So for 1.3.1, I'm going to use the axis of symmetry method. So it is plus 4 on my equation, so it will be minus 4 over 2. What is my a? 1. Which will be equals to what? Minus 4 over 2. It is what? Minus 2. This is my x value. So my y will be equals to square root of what? Where there is x, I put what? Minus 2. Minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 2 plus 8. See? And then when I'm going to calculate on my answer, I'll get what? What is minus 2 squared? It is 4. And then minus 4 times 2. 4 times minus 2. It is minus 8. So, can take out the calculator so that I don't lie. Minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 2 plus 8. Get what? 2. So my y is equals to 2. Get my 4 marks. Now, let's continue. They are saying 1.3.2. Hence, when they are saying hence, they are saying using the answers or the answer you got in the previous question, determine the range of f of x. So now, I need to know what the range is, the set of y values. So now, the y value that I have, it is only 2. So remember what I said about the parabola. The range, you simply say y it is greater or equals to 2. Simple. Done. Now let's go to 1.4, nature of roots, the last part of these things. 1.4, determine the nature of the roots of the equation 5ax squared minus 5ax minus 3x plus 3, it is equals to 0, where my a, it is the element of real numbers. 1.4, I have what? 5ax squared minus 5ax minus 3x plus 3, this equals to 0. Already they've put my thing simple for me. It is now a summarized equation. They have already factorized it for me. Now I'll just have to do my own maths there. Now let's continue. Because now when it is saying it is equal, the first thing that you must do, you must identify the type of roots. But what I can see here, it is that I can factor out x because it is throughout the equation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So now for me to factor out x, I'm gonna say what? 5ax squared, ne? Minus what? X. What am I gonna be left with? 5a minus 3. Because that side there is no x, plus 3 is equals to 0. You see? And when it is like that, I can use what? Discriminant is equals to b squared minus 4ac. Where there is b, I'm gonna put what? 5a plus 5a what? Minus 3, right? So now let's continue. It's gonna be what? 5a minus 3 squared minus 4. What is my a? 5a. And then my c, 3. Is it now fine, guys? Because you're simply taking for this x. Pala, you can't include x because you're not trying to solve for x. X is already there. Like you're just trying to find the nature of roots. So that's why I didn't even put x here, because now it is in terms of a and these numbers. Now let's continue. I have my 5a squared minus x. When I factor out x, I'll have what? Wait, this is a negative. Guys, I didn't say it. It must be a plus. I didn't see it. Sorry. Because when I factor out negative x, minus 3x over minus x, it is going to be positive 3. Sorry, I didn't see it. So now when I am going to multiply, it will be 25a squared plus 30a plus 9 minus 60a. Remember, I'm just simplifying here. Simplifying 30a. Okay. Now quadratic. I need to imagine I can simplify my things. So it will be 25a squared. 30a minus 60a. It is what? Minus 30a plus 9. Then I will have what? 5a minus 3 squared. Then I can conclude by saying therefore roots are real and rational. Just apply nature of roots only, nothing much. Now let's move to the next question. It is what? Question 2, I think so. We are done with question 1. Let's go to question 2. They are saying simplifying these things, so then we will be now going to functions. Okay, no problem. So now they are basically saying simplify. When you are now gonna simplify here, you will have to be careful because they will be busy saying, hey, simplify without the use of a calculator, wara. So now I'm gonna show you some few ways to kill these kinds of questions so that you're gonna be fine in your finals, because they like these ones. So now let's continue, guys. I have minus 2 times minus, I have minus 3 times minus 2, and then over root 4x squared. But now I don't have to be busy doing two brackets because now you're a mathematician, you can see these things. So now it will be minus 3 times what? What is minus 2 squared? It is 4. I can write my 4 here. Over. Remember, anything that is inside the square root and you square it, the square root will be removed, right? So Lana will be remained with what? 4x. The square root, it is now gone. It has multiplied itself with minus 2 and squared itself with what? Root 4x, but it removed the square root. And then now, let's continue. Since I have a fraction and a division line, I can see that, don't multiply please, I can see that this 4 will cancel with this 4. And then I'll be left with what? Minus 3. Ne? I need to know what inside I have what? 1 over 4. 1 over x, I mean. So it will be simplified to to negative 3 over x. See? So this one I don't need it, but you just have to know that I'm left with minus 3 over x, which is your answer. Now number 2, 2.1.2, 2.1.24, and then open brackets 3 to the power of x plus 1 minus 3 to the power of x minus 1 over 3 to the power of x plus 1 minus 3 to the power of x. So 2.1.2, 4 and then 3 to the power of x plus 1 minus 6, 3 to the power of x minus 1 over 3 to the power of x plus 1 minus 3 to the power of x. So now these are what exponents. I want to do them here and finish at the same time. I wanted you to do them for me, but it's fine. It's an exam, it was an exam, so I have to do everything here. So now you have to be careful there, ne? Please listen to me and listen to me attentively. We are not gonna multiply. We are gonna multiply, and then you are gonna start by doing what? By splitting. So you will have 4 times 3 to the power of x times 3. I need this 4, it is multiplying everything throughout. Minus what? I'm simplifying, Pell. 6 times 3 to the power of x. Please don't make that mistake of saying 3 times 18, 3 times 3, 6 times 3, then you have 18 to the power of x. That is wrong. Please. Times what? 3 to the power of minus 1. Over, I need to splitting. So it will be 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of 1 minus 3 to the power of x. Remember, same basis when they are multiplying, you would add exponents, but now you are now going back there. So now, Pezulule, in the numerator, I can see that 3 to the power of x, it is common. What am I left with? 4 times 3 minus 6 times 3 minus 1 over what? At the same time, I can see that 3 to the power of x, it is common in the denominator. I'm left with 3 to the power of 1 minus 1. Take out your calculator so that you don't make a mistake. What is 4 times 3? It is 12. So these ones, they'll do what? They will cancel, right? So cancel. Then now, what is 4 times 3? I can still put this one here, but let me put them here so that you don't get confused. 4 times 3, 12. What is 6 times 3 to the power of minus 1? 6 times 3 to the power of minus 1. It is 2. So 12 minus 2 over 3 to the power of x. 3 minus 1, 2. So this one will cancel with that one. So I'm left with 10 over 2, which is equals to 5. See? Just have to be careful with the exponents there and the loss of exponents. Now let's go to the last question of question 2. It is saying without the use of a calculator, simplify. See? But now I'm going to show you how to do it. Now let's just do it here. So now since you have root 32, take your calculator and say root. I'm going to show you something. You see you get root 4 root 2, right? So now it will be what? You're going to write it. 4 root 2. Ne? Minus what? Take your calculator, say root 8. I'm gonna show you. You get what? 2 root, oh, it is 18, sorry. You get what? 3 root 2 over what? What is root 8? It has to be 2 root 2 minus 1. Ne? Now, for this one now, because you can simplify in your calculator, I'm gonna tell you this. As you can see, root 2, it is common in the numerator there. Can you see that? Root 2, it is common in the numerator. Right? So now what you can simply do, you'll have to do this. You can simply say root 2 and write it as it is. The reason why I was busy saying say root 2, take out your calculator. Say 4 root 2 minus what? Minus 3 root 2. You get what? Root 2. Over what now? You're going to write that thing again. So it will be what? 2 root 2 minus 1. You get your first mark. Now, since you have something like this and you are not allowed to use a calculator. Now check. You can apply what? Conjugancy. If you don't know what conjugancy is, go to my previous videos. There is what? Trigonometry, you'll see it. So you multiply by the same denominator, but you change the sign of the denominator. As you can see here, I'm writing plus 1. Here it was what? Minus 1. And then when I'm going to simplify, root 2 times root 2, it is 2. Check. Root 2. Okay, let me use root 5 times root 5. I will have to get 5. You see, I get 5. So root 2 times root 2, it is what? 2. So 2 times 2, 4, right? But now, let me relax. I don't want to show off here. I will have 4 plus root 2 over what? Now, let's continue again. I need to multiply here. Root 2 times root 2, it is 2 at the same time. But mind, don't forget about these ones. So it will be the same as over 7. See? This root 2 times root 2, it gives what? 2. I hope you now understand it now. Don't forget that you even have what? This minus. I need to root 2 times root 2, it is what? 2. And then I'm going to multiply these 2's and it will be give you what? 8. Then you're going to say 8 minus 1. You get what? You're 7. Let's go to the next question now. Question 3. It is the graph. Now, before we start, let's interpret it. The graphs of f of x is a over x minus p squared plus q. G of x, it is that we don't have the graphs, the equations. So now I have point T, which lies on F, and point A, which is the intersection. So now the first question says, determine the values of A, P, and Q. So now remember, check this one now. When they are saying about A, they're talking about what? This one. I think that they'll be talking about this one. And then when they're talking about, they are basically talking about f of x, because this is P, this is Q again. No problem. Let's continue. Now, each and every time answering questions on graphs, interpret and check what you have. So now already I can see that this is the turning point of f of x. Now remember this P, it is the what? The x value of the turning point. So now I can see that my P is what? 2. Because this is x, this is y. And then my Q, it is what? 1, because I'm given the coordinates of the turning point. So now my job, it is to what? My duty, it is to find what? The value of A. Right? So now let's continue. I think the value of 8 is common for the two graphs. But now, since I'm going to use the parabolic knowledge, it will be beneficial for me. Now, let's continue. told you my P, man, P is equals to 2. I need to we saw it. And then my Q is equals to 1. I can put it in that equation. Now it's equals to A x minus P squared plus Q. So now I'll have what? A x minus 2 squared plus 1. Now I can have to choose a point. At which point? 3 and 3. So at A, 3 and 3. Where there is x and y, I put 3 because it is the same numbers. So 3 is equals to A times 3 minus 2 squared plus 1. 3 minus 2 it is 1. 1 squared it is what? 2. So this side I have 2A. I mean, what you call? A plus 1. Because A it is multiplied to this one and it's separated by this some positive sign. So 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. Therefore, my A is equals to 1. Wait, man. My A is equals to 3 minus 1. It is equals to A. Therefore, my A is equals to 2. See? Now, let's check the second one. Write down the equations of the asymptotes of g of x. Now, check. G of x is your what? Hyperbola. Hyperbola has two asymptotes. It is the y asymptote and the x asymptote. So, as I can see, this one is the what? X asymptote. So, it is where? At 2. And this is what? Y asymptote. It is where? At 1, because I was already given the coordinates. So, 3.2. My x it is equals to 2. Y is equals to 1. I'm done. Now, 3.3. Determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of g of x that does not intersect g of x. Okay. Now, when they are saying determine the equation of the axis of symmetry, you know the formula that we use, ne? But manje, they said that does not intersect g of x at the same time. You see? So now I'll have to use what? The one with a negative slope. I need to know what is this one that goes there, like this one. Yeah, this one is a good question. I need to know what your axis of symmetry is like this. But now they're saying what? That does not intersect g of x. It doesn't touch your graph at all. Because the positive one, it is like this. It is doing what? Touching your graph. But this one, it will be what? The one for the negative gradient. See? Yeah, guys, I love maths. So now 3.3 y is equals to minus x plus c. So now to finish things, I can choose a point, right? 1 and what? Minus 2. 1 and 2. So with 2 at that point t there, but now it is minus, so already I can say what it is minus 2 plus c. This is 1. Therefore, my c is equals to what? 3. Then my equation will be y is equals to minus x plus 3. See? Simple like that. Now, what are they saying in the next question? Determine the y-intercept of f of x. This is f of x. They want the y-intercept. Remember, y-intercept, let x is equals to 0. But remember, we identified our equation as y is equals to a as 2. I need to, this was a 2. This was a 2x minus 2 squared. And then what? My plus 1. Okay. Now let's continue. Where there is x, you put what? 0. So let me say y int x is equals to 0. So my y is gonna be equals to 2 times 0 minus 2 squared plus 1. Therefore my y it is equals to what? 5. Then this is my y-intercept. Is it 5, guys? I think I'm lying. What is 0 minus 2 squared? It is what? Let's check on our calculator. Let's check on our calculator. 2 times 0 minus 2 squared plus 1. Plus 1. I get 9, so it means what I was wrong. My answer is 9. Now let's go to the next question. Determine the values of x for which f of x it is greater than. So now they are saying determine the values of x whereby your f of x, this graph, it is now greater than. So now for this one you don't have to worry because it is not a problem. So it is simply say x element of real numbers. This doesn't change, it is always there. Now they are saying g of x minus f of x greater than 0. So for this one, let's do it here. You will have to solve like g of x greater or equals to f of x. You simply transpose this negative f of x to the other side. Now it is gonna be where your g of x, it is now greater than f of x or above. But what I can see here, it is that it is above where? At this point, you see, at 3, the x value of the hyperbola there, it is what? 3. And where? At 2 again, you see, g of x. So it will be what? 2 less than x less than 3. But now it will be less than or equals to, because now this is the point of intersection. So they are it is less than or equals to. You see? Okay, no problem. Now let's continue. There is question 4, exponential graph. Okay, no problem. Let's just kill it here. So now they are saying 4.1, determine the y-intercept of f of x. I need to know to y-intercept, you let y equals to 0. So now let's continue. Let's wait. Sweeps busy mate. Question 4.1, they want the y-intercept. So 4.1, y-intercept. So you let what x is equals to 0. So my equation, it is y is equals to 1 over 2 to the power of x minus plus 2. Where is x, you put what? 0. Then remember guys, anything to the power of 0, it is what? 1. So my answer, it is what? 3, because it is 1 plus 2, which is 3. Now let's continue. 4.2, they want the domain. So the domain is just set of x values. So this one, it is the same as the parabola. It is simply say x element of real numbers, because your exponential graph moves like this. It doesn't touch any x values, doesn't. Now sketch the graph of f of x, showing clearly all relevant points and one additional point on the graph. So now I want you to go and sketch this graph. I'm not gonna do it because, okay, let's do it. It's fine. I'm already given my y asymptote, which is what? 2, right? So I'm just gonna do it like this. Y equals to 2. Let me write 2 here. And then now my graph, since let's check the equation, it is what? 1 over 2 to the power of x. So that basically tells me that my graph is what? Decreasing graph, because this value is between 1 and 0, half. Sharp y. Let's continue. Plus this one is the what? Y-intercept that they were talking about. Now 4.4, determine the equation of g of x where g of x is the reflection of f of x about the x-axis. So now when you're talking about the reflection about the x-axis, so x-axis, you do what? You change y, leave x. That's what you have to know about the reflection. So now what is my equation? Y is equals to 1 over 2x plus 2. Then you're going to change y, reflection. Negative y is equals to 1 over 2 to the power of x plus 2. Then since I know that I cannot say my equation is negative y, I'm going to divide everything by what? By a negative. So therefore my g of x is equals to negative 1 over 2x minus 2. I'm done. X is reflection. Change y, leave x. Hence or otherwise, state the equation of h of x, where h of x is the reflection of f of x over its asymptote, y is equals to 2. This one is easy, guys. 4.5. You are simply saying, so when I say h of x is equals to negative 1 over 2 to the power of x plus 2. Because they said it is what? The reflection. So check your graph. I get the reflection, you just flip this thing. It is just flipping it, you see? And over its asymptote, y is equals to 2. So it is just the very same thing. Let's go to question 5 now. The last question. And then now we'll finish. The graph of f of x is equals to minus 2x plus 14 is a straight line. At the same time, I'm given that it is what? Minus 2x. So minus 2, it is what? Decreasing graph. And g of x, 1 over 2x squared plus 6x minus 10. Right? Because it's a what? Parabola. Now 5.1. Determine the values of a, b, and c. So this a here, it is what? The x-intercept. B, it is the x-intercept. C, it is what? X-intercept of what? G of x. Okay? Now, let's go. So as I've said that a and b are the x-intercepts of the parabolic graph, you are simply going to do this now. My y is equals to what? 1 over negative 1 over 2x squared plus 6x minus 10. So now for this one, you're going to do what? X-intercept. Is it the x-intercept? Yes. You let the y equals to 0. See? So it will be minus 1 over 2x squared plus 6x minus 10. It is equals to 0. Now, let me just do my own maths there. Since I know what it's not busy now. But I can simplify everything there. Let me divide each and everything by what? By a negative half, so that I'm not going to be confused. So when I divide everything by a negative half, it will be what? X squared minus 12x, right? Plus 20. Equals to 0. My marker is dying. Plus 20 is equals to 0. Let's continue. Then, after that, you'll have to get your x values by using quadratic. But I'm going to do what? Factorize. So I will have what? X minus 10. And then what? X minus 2 is equals to 0. Okay? Is it fine now? When you can do what? Use what? Quadratic. But I'm going to do what? My factorization. And then I know that my x is equals to 10. Hey guys, this markers are or x is equals to 2. Then now electricity is back. Since I have 10 and 2, let me go back to my graph because I have my x values. And yet I know what already my y it is 2. So which one comes first? It is a. So it means what a it is what? 2 and 0, because a it is before 10. Before b, I mean. And then my b is what? 10 and 0. Now for c, as you can see here, c, it is the x-intercept of the what? F of x, which is the straight line. So I can say y is equals to minus 2x plus 14, and then 0 is equals to minus 2x plus 14. And this one is under x-intercept, y is equals to 0. Then 2x is equals to 14. Therefore, my x is equals to 7. Then I can say C 7 and 0. You see? Now, let's go. The second one, determine the coordinates of the turning point F, which is this one, on G of X. Okay. Remember what I said about the turning point. Start by finding the axis of symmetry by using S close to minus B over 2A. And then my B in this equation, it is minus 6 over 2 times minus 1 over 2. Then let me simplify. I'm going to get what? 6. Yeah. And then after doing what? You take this 6 and substitute in the what? In the original equation. So y is equals to 1 over 2, negative 1 over 2. Where there is x, you put 6 plus 6. And then what? 6 again, plus, minus 10. What are you going to get there? 8. Therefore, the coordinates for f, it is what? 6 and 8. Get your 3 marks, just imagine. Now, hence or otherwise, state the values of x for which g of x is decreasing. Is this in grade 11 syllabus? Let me tool, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that for the values of x whereby it is decreasing, it is this point. Let me bring this thing closer. As you can see, I told you to learn it is what? They said the what you call the x values on it. So as you can see, I set the x value for the turning point, it is what? 6. But now after this 6, it is doing what? It is now decreasing. So it means at the x value of 6, it is doing what? Starting to decrease. Right? So now it means I'll say what? 5.4 x, it is greater than 6. Okay? Or 6 to infinity. 5.5. Calculate the coordinates of points D and E, the points of intersection of f of x and g of x. So what they simply mean is that you equate the two graphs where they meet. You see? Point of intersection. So now, let me just take a new page, so that you'll understand this whole thing. So now, point of intersection, you're simply going to say f of x is equals to g of x, whereby my f of x is what? Minus 2x plus 14. Minus 2x plus 14 is equals to minus half x squared plus 6x minus 10. You see? And then now, I'm going to simplify my maths. Remember how I'm going to do it. Divide everything by what? By a negative half. Because man, I don't want to confuse myself or something. So, but I can do it. I can do it with no problem. But I want you to try it, guys. Because at the same time, you have to do it. Because I now already I gave you a hint. Because now you know that you have 1 over 2x squared, né? Plus 6x. And then it is what? Plus 2x minus 10 minus 14 is equals to 0. You're going to group this one, group that one, get your x values. So you're going to do it, né? After getting your x values, né? Let's just say you getting the 2x values. After getting the 2x values, you're going to choose between this equation and that equation. So that you'll do what? You'll get your y values, the 2y values. And then you go back to your graph. And then if you get a negative number for y, it's going to be e. You see, those things. Try it and then put the coordinates that you got in the comments. I want to see it. Because, man, I've been repeating the very same thing, finding x and y since the whole. So it is just the waste of time. Let's go to 5.6. Now they are asking me about those easy things now. They're saying determine the values of x, né? For which f of x it is above g of x, it is greater than g of x. So now my f of x here, it is what? this decreasing line. So what I can see it is that I have 2 points, which is 4 and 12. Can't you see them? So what you can just do for me at the same time, Angiti, you have, okay, Yazin, it's fine. Let's do it. I don't want to confuse you guys. It's fine, because now 5.6 depends on what you call, on those equations there. So let me just do it fast. Okay, it's fine. Okay, that's what I get, and then it's gonna be what? X minus 12, x minus 4 is equals to 0. Then my x is equals to 12, or x is equals to 4. I didn't want to do it then. Now I'm gonna choose between the two equations, right? I'll have what? Y is equals to negative 2x plus 14. I'm gonna choose the shorter equation. Where is x? I put 12. So and then what am I gonna get? Minus 10. And then the second one, minus 2, 4 plus 14. Minus 2 times 8, it is minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. Minus 8 plus 14. Minus 8 plus 14, it is 6. So these are my y values. So for D, it will be what? 4 and 6. For A, it will be what? 12 and minus 10. Now for 5.6.1, they're saying f of x is greater than. So as you can see, this is my f of x, and so this one, it is what? Greater than. This is the point of D. It is 4. And then g of x at the same time, it is what? E. Because the x value of E, it is somewhere here. You see? So that's how you do it. It will be x less than 4 or x greater than 12. 5.6.2. F of x times g of x, they are both less than 0. So it means to go to now, the other one, it is beneath, the other one, it is above. Okay. So what I can see, let's go back to our graph. Remember that I have 2 there. Angithi lana I had what? 7 la. Lana I had 10. So it means ukuthi I can write this one. I'm gonna write it, guys. I'm just gonna write the answer. Because we are just using the x values only, nothing else. X values only, nothing else. You can simply do f of x times g of x and get your answers at the same time. I mean, I used inspection, what you call inspection, by checking here in the graphs. Let's go to the last section now. They are saying determine the coordinates of Q, which is that if y is equals to f of x becomes y is equals to negative f of x. So it would be where there is x, where there is y, you put a negative y value. So lana for Q, it will be what? Negative 5 and 2. Negative 5 and 2. Remember, guys, f of x, it is the same as y. But the minute they put a negative value or a negative, now they said they didn't put a specific value, they just said negative x. It basically means the value of x, it is negative. Simple. And then now they are saying what? Negative f of x. So I said f of x at the same time, it is the same as what? Y. But this time around they said what? Negative f of x. So it is the same as what? Negative y. So it means what is number 2, Q, it is going to be what? 5 and what? Minus 2. You see? Now, let's go to the last one. They are saying f of x minus 2 plus 3. You simply add 3 in that equation. So you have your q here. And then your coordinates is what? 7 and 5. You see? You simply add 3 in your y value. And do what? Add 2. Because this thing minus 2, it is simply saying what? You are going to the right. Don't forget the triggering functions. So this one, it went 2 units to the right. They added 2. And then 3 units upward. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay. So guys, that's all with this paper. I hope you have enjoyed it. Yeah. It was so easy but tricky at the same time. But we are done, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Subscribe. And yeah, I'm hoping to grow this channel with you. Thank you.